Example number 2 with using logs, but in this particular example here we do kind of want to explore what the graph looks like. So we're going to treat this 0.7 to the power of x like a graph, and essentially we're going to sketch up the graph of y equals 0.7x to the power of x, and we're also going to sketch up the little graph of y equals 0.3, which is a horizontal line, just so that you can visualize what this roughly looks like. This this base of 0.7 here is less than 1. It's between 0 and 1, which means that there is actually a hidden negative power. So that's the same as 7 over 10 to the power of x. But I might rewrite it as 10 to the over 7, and because we've flipped it, we push out this negative index here because we've made the denominator go into the numerator, which means that we put it to the power of -1, and the 7, which is in the numerator, we made it jump down to the denominator, so that's also a negative index involved there. So essentially what we're going to do is we notice that there's this negative reflection in the y-axis. So if I do sketch up a set of axes here, I just want to show you that our graph actually looks like this. It's a base of 10 over 7. So because we have a reflection in the y-axis, that's what it's going to look like. Just putting in the asymptote there, and just looking at this here, if we want to find out what our y-intercept is, we let x equal to 0. So the base to the power of 0, anything to the power of 0 is just 1. So the y value is 1 and the x value is 0. We're going to look at this graph of 0.3 now. So a y value of 0.3 is somewhere down here. If I draw a horizontal line across, let's just say that's 0.3. We can see that there's an intersection at these 2 points here. Now, let's go back to, now we've visualized the whole thing, go back to this. When is this part of the graph greater than or equal to 0.3? So, in other words, when is this part of the graph above 0.3? And we can see it's this whole segment here. I'm going to highlight that segment up until that blue point, and because it's equal to as well, we want to include that point. Now, the idea is that we find that point there. Since we're doing logs, let's turn this into an equal sign first. So we'll go 0.7 to the power of x equals 0.3, just to find out where that point is. If we take the base across to the right hand side, it becomes a log base of 0.7 of 0.3. And now we introduce the inequality. So we notice that we do want to capture that whole segment there, but just before we do, I just want to point out that the x value here is log base 0.7 of 0.3. And the y value, you can see, is 0.3. So everything below that point, therefore, our final answer is x is going to be less than, because everything to the left of that blue point there is less than or equal to log base 0.7 of 0.3. So looking at the graph and then finding out where that intersection point is using log laws, so that we can figure out which segment, if we want to go to the left or if we want to go to the right down at the bottom there. Moving on to this one here. Again, we're going to look at this and break it up into the graph of y equals 0.3 to the power of x. And we're also going to look at y equals 5. Because 0.3 as a base is between 0 and 1, we do want to push out that negative power by reciprocating it, and so we are introducing negative indices here. I'm going to sketch up the graph. I might put this axis over here actually. And our graph is going to look more or less the same as our previous example, with a y-intercept of 0, 1. If you're unsure about why it's 0, 1, if you want to find the y-intercept, let x equals 0. So anything to the power of 0, this 10 over 3 to the power of 0 is equal to 1. We're also going to put in the graph of y equals 5 now in this purple. And if this is 1 relative to this is going to be completely off scale. I might recorrect it a bit then. I'll make this here 0, 1. Asymptote of y equals 0. And so a y value of 5 will be somewhere up here. We just need to draw in a horizontal line. We can see that our point of intersection is this at this spot here. And because it's a greater than or equal to, we do want to include that bottom line as well. Now we just need to highlight which part of this graph is above that little horizontal line of 5. It's this here. We're going to find out what this value here is, where the intersection is. And to do that, we go 0.3 to the power of x is equal to 5. This means that x is equal to log base of 0.3. We take the base from the left-hand side and make it a base of a log on the right-hand side. Now we're going to say the inequality of the x value. Now the x value is going to the left, so we are going to say that it is less than or equal to log base 0.3 of 5. That's it.